What's going on, guys? Another week down and a big milestone achieved. So let's talk about it on this week. Riding with Kev. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So another week down. This is finishing our second week in Texas Dedicated. So in my first 4 months, I said I did 5 loads twice. And then I got my new fleet manager and I did 5 loads 3 different times in the first 4 weeks. Well, now I'm on Texas Dedicated and I've had my 2 highest grossing weeks back to back. Technically it was 3 weeks, but that first one was the holiday week, so I don't really count that. So we're rocking. It's some long days. It doesn't make things any easier sometimes, but things are good. Getting some consistent loads. We're happy. Funny story from this week is I went to this place and I'd never been there before, and I had to do it all. I had to ignore the noise. I had to get out of my own head. I had to trust in my instincts. And it was loading plywood. And I looked at the picture where the lady sent me, and you had to go up and make a really tight U-turn to come back and stem this yellow stanchion. And you had to go in and you had to back in this real narrow opening to stop at a shipping carrier. Then when they pulled out, you had to reposition to pull over. And boy, I had time to think. And I started getting all in my own head on this one. And then I reached that point where you end up waiting so long that I was just like, I don't care. I just want to back in and get freaking loaded. And so guess what? I did it. No problems. 1 pull up, which is acceptable for as tight as this was. I was like, man, glad I listened to my own advice this time. And it was so funny because it took them about 3.5 hours to get me loaded. And he hands me my paperwork. And there's a macro guy next to me. He hands him his paperwork because he got loaded too. He goes, all right, strap, tarp, do whatever you got to do, but you have 45 minutes and you have to be out of here. It's like, so you took your old time getting me loaded, but now I'm on a time crunch to get out of here. And the macro guy goes, hey, can I do this off-site? And he goes, that time, it's going to take me longer than that to, strap this load down, tarp it, get everything set up. It's going to take me longer than 45 minutes. He goes, well, I don't care what you do, but 45 minutes, you got to go. And the guy goes, can you just put my tarps on top of my load? That way I can just, pull outside the gate. He goes, absolutely, you have a good weekend. He goes, and you, sir? And I said, hold my beer and start your clock. And I rocked it. About had a heart attack, but I rocked it. I got it done. And in 32 minutes, I was X-strapped, tarp strap, boom, and I rolled past that dude, and there he is on the side of the road and messing with those tarps because I know how to work the tarp machine. I've gotten good at those things. And so I rocked it out. And so that was the cool story, is I'm back no problem. I did that because you know why? Today officially marks 6 months in my own truck. I've been in 13133 for 6 months. And on the way to this load, I'm parked up. I broke 50,000 miles too. So I broke 1,000 subscribers. I broke 50,000 miles. I broke 6 months. I broke a high pay. Life is good. So that's why we're going to start this video. And I'm going to talk to you about the 5 things I love about trucking. So let's go. First thing that I love about since I've gotten into trucking is the possibilities. The possibilities out here are endless. And I'm not just talking about flatbed, reefer, dry van, oversized, heavy haul, local, over the road, dedicated, just those possibilities. Think about the number of companies that you have out here. Once you have that CDL, the possibilities literally are endless. You can go and do anything you want to do. And, I started out as line haul, and then I moved into Texas Dedicated, and Texas Dedicated is great, and I'm loving it. But there's so many possibilities, even just within TMC. You could do trainer, you could do boats, you could do the oversized loads. There's so many possibilities just within TMC. Never mind the doors that TMC could open you for other places. If you wanted to go do a little drywall truck local, whatever you want to do, the possibilities are endless, and you're never pigeonholed. If you know how to do one thing, that's what you know. If you pour concrete, which I know plenty of people do, this is not a knock, it's just an example. That's there's possibilities within that, but it's pouring concrete, strapping different loads, doing different things. Everything is so open out here that, you get tired of doing something, you can move on to something else. There are just so many possibilities that your future is very, very bright when you're in trucking. All right, so number 4 on the list for me is customers. And it's kind of TMC specific, kind of based on some things that I've heard and just kind of what I've been through. As I've said many times, I don't need to be surrounded by people. I do just fine in my truck, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But especially in flatbed, most of the guys that are working flatbed, most of them, not all, when you're delivering somewhere or you're picking up somewhere, most of them are Monday through Friday. Most of them are 7 to 5, 8 to 5. You'll get some places open early, open late, but the people just seem happy. They may not get you loaded the quickest. They may not be just the greatest places to be, but the customers really are good people. If you ever have a question, I've never asked somebody a question and felt stupid. I may have felt stupid inside for asking the question, but the customers never, you idiot, how dare you ask that? When the guy, a long time ago, I talked about the guy with how I wanted the plywood loaded on the trailer. They're good people, and I don't have to deal with them in small increments, but just, you meet so many different people. I told you I'd deliver that load wherever I was at in Missouri, and the guy's like, I'm a subscriber. How is this guy a subscriber of mine? It's just the customers are really good people. And if you're like me and you get kind of mission oriented and you just rock out and you don't spend a lot of customers, they're still nice. If you want to sit around and talk forever, you can find out about their dog, their cat, their kids, their wife, everything. The customers out here really are good people. And so you get to meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of characters at some of the places I go to. You start learning, hey, which customers are good, which customers are a little slow. But even the slow ones aren't rude. They don't do it on purpose. So the customers, especially in flatbedding, I just love them. I don't have any problems specifically where I go, I'm going to this customer and this guy's a jerk. I have not run into that yet. So customers are definitely number 4 on my list. You get to deal with a lot of good people. Number 3, equipment. This is very TMC specific, but I guess it's the same everywhere, man. If you go somewhere with good equipment, it makes you love this job. Yeah, I've had some problems with my truck. It's a 2020, but it's decked out just how I like it. The owner of TMC takes great pride. Now, they all look the same, unless you're an owner-operator, but you have really good equipment. And not only that, we have really good trailers. We have our oldest trailers, which are Bensons, which we all like to make fun of. Then we have what I call the Bentanes, which is the Fontaine body with the Benson deck, which are terrible. And then you got the Fontaines, which are the newest one. I got to haul my first 3500. It's a 35,000 series. It's our highest number on our trailers, just for what it's worth. I hauled my first one last week, within 6 months. So guess what? It's a trailer. And Texas Dedicated, we do so many trailer swaps that you learn that trailers, tarps, I'm going to lose it within a day or two. I got an old Benson on here now. But the equipment is really good. And I mean, from the Trimble, from doing that, to the CB that they put in here, to the leather and the leather up steering wheel, and the bunks are comfortable, and they've got heaters and, CD player, you can Bluetooth to it, and I've got my GPS. And so I really love the equipment here at TMC, and I think that if you go to any company, Maverick has good equipment from what I've seen. I see a lot of companies, but if you find a place with good equipment, you're definitely going to love that company a whole lot more, because even my breakdowns, when you look at 6 months, 180 days, I've been broken down for a total of 5. That ain't bad. So, and a trailer with the older trailer lighting is the only ever issue I've ever had with a trailer. Blowout, that ain't the trailer's fault. So you go to somewhere with good equipment, it can really make you love your job. This one was a struggle for me, but between 2 and 1, it's a toss-up. But number 2, I'm going to say, is freedom. Man, it's just something you fight for every day of your life. I want to be free. I want to be able to run my ship. I want to be able to do things my way. And as long as you're doing them the right way in trucking, most companies don't have time to micromanage you. They don't have time to look on their little map and say, why did he go that way? Why did he go this way? Where is he at? Why is he stopping with 2 hours on his clock? The possibilities and the freedom out here is, and I don't just mean the open road, because there ain't no open road in Dallas. But I've been down every paved goat trail to nowhere out here in Arkansas and West Texas, and just the freedom. I can't tell you how many times, as dumb as I am, that I turn the radio off and I just drive, and I just take in the scenery, and all the stresses of life go away for me, even for 5 minutes, and that's where I've been working on relaxing this week, and it is what it is, and I'll get there, and I have the freedom. I had a drop earlier this week, and it was like I could stop, not pee, not get fuel, just do a 3-minute load check, and if I push it and the traffic's right, I would get to be parked up. And I said, no, I have the freedom to make this call with my company. As long as I don't miss my appointment, they're good. So I stopped, got a shower, got Burger King. I rolled up the next morning. I knew there were 3 trucks ahead of me. As I rolled up and stopped, the 3rd truck, they're pulling the last bundle, and I rolled right in. You have the freedom out here to make decisions. You get to meet so many, I said, with the customers. You get to meet so many different people. Here's some jack wagons on the CB sometimes. You get to meet other TMC drivers, sometimes good. You get to do just anything you want out here. I can listen and sing Frank Sinatra driving down the road. I can sing Britney Spears driving down the road. I may sing some Miley Cyrus driving down the road. I can listen to a podcast if I want to. I am free out here. And the freedom in trucking is, you hear about it, and it's not freedom of the open road. That's a thing. So freedom is definitely, it's 1 and 2 men. It's a toss-up, but the freedom out here is so awesome. Number 1, got to be the money. Because I told you, money is fuel, and that's how you accomplish your dreams. And we're doing good. We're definitely doing good. Again, it's summer. It's picked up, especially in flatbed. So I'm sure it'll be seasonal and the money will go down a little, but I'm doing a little over $4,000 a week to the truck, and I'm home, gone Monday through Friday, home on weekends doing $4,000. Those of you playing the home game, $4,000, 30%, $1,200 if you want to know what I'm making. And that doesn't include TARP pay or bounce pay, just to give you a little idea. And I found out, I was all excited, and I got my little snapshot, and my Texas Dedicated, let's just put it, I'm not ranked very high on revenue, but I'm coming from line haul, so I'm hoping it picks up. But even when I was line haul, it's a national pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was making good money. You're getting paid to run your ship. You get a higher percentage when you run it the right way. There's so much money to be made out here because nothing gets nowhere without trucks. When the whole virus pandemic hit, there's a reason that trucks were considered essential. Because people need their toilet paper, and they're not going to be able to drive to the factory and get it. They need their water. They need their medicine. I was delivering shingles. There was still life going on, and that doesn't go on without truckers. And therefore, truckers are paid. And yes, freight has been crappy on the rates. But it'll come back. I'm a firm believer. I'm an optimist, as I've said. So I believe that it's going to come back. Texas Dedicated money's been good. Texas line haul wasn't bad. I was averaging $1,000 a week take home when I was line haul, once business picked up. But when, if business is slow, everybody was complaining about their paychecks being down. This wasn't specific to me. And so, like I said, I don't want to get too much information or too much in the way talking about money, but it is why you're out here. I leave my family for all those things I've talked about, but at the end of the day, you got to pay the bills. And you can do that in trucking. There are guys who do this, who put in their time and make 6 figures. There are guys that make 6 figures as company drivers some places, including TMC. I know who they are. But I'm making good money. For a first-year guy, I've been here 6 months, I'm making good money. Not many other jobs where you're going to go start and gradually earn increases from 26 to 30%, and I did that in 4 months. And you have the opportunity out here to make what you're worth. You make what you're worth. You work, you'll earn it. And hard work is rewarded out here. Run your clock right, strapping, tarping quickly, that kind of stuff I've been talking about. And that's why it's so hard when you first start out. You're like, I've been doing this 3 months and I'm not making any money. It takes time. But money's got to be number 1 because that's number 1 for everybody, right? So that concludes this week. I've got some things lined up. Guess what? There's going to be the 5 things I hate about trucking coming up. I've got another couple questions. I'm getting a lot of messages, and so I try and answer all the questions I can. If I haven't got back to you, it's coming. 50,000 down, 950,000 to go. Great. So, rock on. Let's get rolling.